Before the video begins, I would like to give a huge shout out to Amy Dillon for sending me her stories. She's been a huge supporter of my channel, and I can only return the favor by saying thank you. I have some really huge projects coming up with Amy, and they are going to be sick. She is currently in the works of finishing some amazing stories that will be exclusive only to this channel, such as Keepsake Part 2. So be on the lookout for that and more stories to come. I have left her social media in the description below, so please follow her and show her some love. But without further ado,
let's begin.
When I was 16, I'd have the occasional sleepover with a girlfriend. The following experience was one of those times. I had a friend stay over at my house one Friday night. We were in my room, getting my cosmetics out, ready to do makeovers, but we kept giggling about these boys we liked who were jerks and didn't really like us back. We were taking turns role-playing them, doing a pretty good job of making vocal caricatures out of them, laughing so hard. I thought it would be funny to get it on tape, so I grabbed a tape recorder I had, a blank cassette, and pressed record. We did our skit over and improvised even more than we'd done previously. After a few minutes, I turned the recorder off, and we got on with the makeovers and manicures. We'd ordered a pizza and watched a favorite movie of ours after that. And as we were getting ready to go to sleep, we wanted to hear our recorded improv. So I rewound it and pressed play. We were cracking up when we'd reached a part where she was talking in the background, while I was more dominantly heard. We heard ourselves both talking and laughing on the recorder, when an inhumanly deep voice came on and said,
"Shut up."
Our current laughter came to a halt, and our mouths dropped open as we gaped at each other. The tape continued on until the skit was over, and I hit the button. We couldn't say anything. We had no words for each other. We sat in silence for a few minutes before she said, "What was that?" I shook my head. I remember my voice shaking when I asked, "Should I rewind it?" After a few moments, she nodded. My hands were shaking too, as I hit the back button. I could hear my heart pounding in my ears. We braced ourselves as I pressed the play button. I know we were both hoping we'd made it up, that it didn't really happen. The tape went on.
"Shut up."
The voice was just as pronounced as before. I let the recorder fall out of my hands. "Mom!" I shouted. She came racing in to see my friend and I, pale-faced and shaken up. I played it back for her. She was just as shocked as we were. We didn't hear it again on the recorder after that. We tried. Whatever said this sounded very annoyed. The way someone with no patience would sound around two giggling teenage girls. I guess it's possible to tick off the afterlife. I don't know what made that deep voice, but it wasn't human, and it had no business being at a sleepover. This happened to me about 6 years ago. I'm huge into the paranormal and watch all the shows even remotely relating to the topic. I'd seen an episode of Ghost Adventures where Zach describes how the spirit box they use can be made using a regular radio. I went to work I researched what type of radio to buy, from where, and how to modify it to continuously scan stations that would output the most white noise. I bought the simple $20 radio from Radio Shack and watched tutorials on doing the rest of the work. It was quick and easy. In 10 minutes, I had my own ghost box. I wasn't going to wait. I was eager to test it out. I had my own place, no one to object, and my 2 beloved dogs with me, a German Shepherd and a Dachshund. I turned the radio on. I asked if anyone had any messages for me. I was shocked to hear 2 very clear responses. One of a man and one of a woman, both on different channels, but they were each talking about something very specific to me. My hobby of writing. I kept scanning the stations for a few minutes after that, but nothing else came through. The messages were very direct and concise. I guess I shouldn't have expected more. I'd gotten great replies. So I turned off the radio and started to cook dinner. Before bed, I thought I'd try again to see what came through. I had a small digital voice recorder I was using next to it for EVPs, as well as documentation of whatever came through. Nothing though. Did I give up? No, of course not. I was at it again the next day after I came home from work. The simple gadget had me lit up like a kid on Christmas, playing with their new toys. I still got nothing. Starting to feel a little discouraged at this point, I thought that I'd leave it on, along with my digital recorder for a while I left to take my dogs for a nice walk. We were gone for about an hour and a half. When I came back, I turned both off, made dinner, and got distracted watching a movie on TV. Once again, before bed, I thought about it and decided it was time to check to see if I had gotten anything. It was pretty boring, with the exception of some strange garbled noises that came through every few minutes. I couldn't make out what it was saying, or if it was even language. It sounded strange though. Definitely not like a digital mishap or broken radio frequency. I shrugged it off and went to sleep. My German Shepherd slept in her dog bed next to my bed, and my Dachshund slept on mine at the foot of it. I was in cosmetology school at the time, and had mannequin heads that I kept on an entertainment center in my room that I would work on both at home and in school. That night, I had horribly vivid nightmares. In it, my mannequin head started to blink, and when I looked directly at them, they would grin with these terrifying, shark-like teeth. Before I woke up, I saw some sort of face right in front of mine. It had dark eyes, and the same grin as the mannequins. I jolted awake. When I did, I glanced over to make sure my mannequins were as they should be, and went to take a moment to calm down before trying to fall back to sleep. But my Dachshund caught my eye. He was standing up at the foot of my bed, pawing at something in front of him. He would make a whining sound and cower, laying down with his tail between his hind legs, but then get back up and try to give his paw to something in the air. Something I couldn't see. I was frozen. I was in a real-life nightmare. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what I was dealing with. I catastrophized the outcomes of the situation, imagining something devilish appearing in my bedroom, the door slamming shut, some type of attack on me or one of my dogs, and me trying my hardest to fight it off. But nothing happened. My Dachshund stopped interacting, and walked up to me for me to let him under the covers so he could burrow. I don't know how I got back to sleep that night, but the trouble didn't stop there. The next day, my dogs were both snarling and barking at something in the corner of the kitchen. They were following something. Again, something that I couldn't see. On the walls, back and forth. There was nothing physically there. These types of events plagued me for days. Sleep full of nightmares, and days full of lights turning off, computers malfunctioning, tapping sounds in the walls of my bedroom, utensils falling out of the dish drainer by my sink. I actually had to call a New Age priest. He came over and blessed my apartment, as crazy as that may sound. I never had another problem again while I was there. I'm convinced this was beyond coincidence. I let something in through my prized possession. I've learned my lesson. Although my intentions were innocent, my results were not. I believe radio frequencies can be portals, and if you're not careful with what you ask for, you can invite in a most unwelcomed guest. What up, guys? This is Graveyard Golgotha, and thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a comment and hit that like button. If you would like more of this content, please tap that notification bell to get updates when I create new content for this channel. All of your support keeps me going and keeps this channel alive. But before you leave, be sure to hit that subscribe button to become a member of the underground. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.